Yorana, and welcome to FM Tahiti. Hope you're all doing well. Got a couple of biggish things going on in this episode. So we've got to the end of the season, more or less, or the end of the league. There's still a few extra games for us to play. We've got a couple of important things to cover with this game. So it's our last game of the season against Tahiti Island. It's our last home game of the season, which means it is our second game in our newly expanded stadium. The very first game I forgot about, didn't realise I was playing it, so I didn't go back and record for it. But we're in our new stadium, which is, just as a recap, 1,294 all-seater, and apparently we did manage to get about 550 people turn up for that. So basically, massively expanded the stadium, but then only got about 70 more fans turning up than we would have done last season when it was only a 500-seater. But it is promising in that we're being, forward. But I think if you look at the stadiums in the overall league, Tahiti have got the Stade Olympique, which is one of the national stadiums. They've got a 15,000-seater, which they get about 700 people turning up to. Then we've got the next biggest stadium. I mean, by a small amount, but we've got the next biggest. There's still plenty of teams that haven't actually increased the size of their stadium yet. So it'll be one of our first opportunities to have a look at the new stadium, which is going to be good. And one of the other things as well is it's going to be our first opportunity to play with the new patch. So for me, it's the 2nd of March. So yesterday the winter update came out, and I've not played a game yet, so I have no idea whether my tactics are now dead after all that effort of getting to the work. From looking at the patch notes, I imagine they're probably not dead, but we don't know yet. So we're going to play Tahiti and see. Just as a quick recap as well, so we played our cup finals. We drew against Tetaroa, which is probably a fair draw in the long run. We beat Uapoa. We got but that went down as an own goal, but actually it was a really good Yanin shot, I think, that smacked off the back of him. Actually, no, it was, it was Yanin for that one. Then we smashed Meow 5-1. Could have been more, really. It was a good match. Then we lost to Taha 2-1, which is unfortunate. Again, it was one of those ones where actually we probably played better, but they squeaked it. And now we've got Tahiti. And you notice here we've also got the Shield of Pride semi-final just a few days after this. So I'm going to come back for the Shield of Pride separately, because that's either going to be one game if we get knocked out of the semi-final, or it's going to be 2 if we get to the final. And again, that's just the kind of Cup Winners' Cup for the regional cups. So looking at the league, Tahiti are 8th mid-table. We're 6th. This match is dead rubber in some ways. In that way, we can't get higher than 6th now. We finished with 44, we'll still be 6th. Tupai and Tahiti could both potentially overtake us, depending on how the results go. But basically, it's just, are we going to be 6th or are we going to be 8th? That's the span we've got to deal with now. So my team's pretty much all ready to go. Brought Higgins on for Weaver because Weaver's a bit tired. Manuel's starting even though he's a little bit tired. So here's our new stadium. It's just one big stand again. Wonder I didn't notice it the first time. It looks exactly like my 500-seater. There's no stand there. There's no stand on the other end. I don't think there's any on the other side unless we've hidden one in. Right, let's get it to play and I'll pause and have a look. Yeah, go on, do whatever. Don't really care. Let's change the camera angle because otherwise I won't be able to see anything. Okay. So yeah, no stand there, no stand there. I'm pretty sure there isn't one on the other side, but I have no idea how to view that unless the game goes. This big stand looks more or less. Wait, have they just added seats here on this side? Wait, I'm going to count the seats. I'm going to pause and come back. I haven't counted the seats, so I guess I can do the whole 2, 7 or 8 seats by 16. Right, I'll go back and I'm going to calculate this because that looks very similar. Can't have just added a couple here and a couple here. That wouldn't be enough, I don't think. Yeah, back in 1 second. Okay, so I've done my counting, and yeah, that's about the right amount of seats. My estimates are slightly off, but that's about 1,200 seats. So I'm thinking maybe we have just added these extra bits onto the side. And then look at these bits here with the railings. I guess these are kind of like our director boxes. These are the executive boxes with a few, more room, less riffraff, at least still out amongst everyone maybe. So yeah, basically our expansion has been pretty lazy. We've just tagged on a couple of extra blocks of seats. So not exactly what I'm wanting. Let's go back to director. Other teams, when they've had theirs and we've played at their grounds, have had a kind of bigger change. Like they've had the stands almost kind of repositioned, which I guess is unrealistic in its own way. So they've had like a stand behind each goal rather than one along the sides, or they've had essentially 4 stands, but each one's a small, tiny stand. Go on, Gerard, get it in. Oh, Wallace is there. It's a good goal. It's what we're used to, Wallace. Used to from him. Sorry if I'm stumbling over my words, it's because it's about 7:30 in the morning. Just getting this in. So I brought Wallace back into the fold. So he's tired for a bit, then he was injured for a bit, then he was tired again. And then obviously Yanin and Gerard have been scoring plenty, as has Chisholm as well. Huaheen keep trying to buy him. But I thought I'd give him a bit of a run in the end of the season, because he is young, he needs a bit of game time. And again, we're not challenging for the title at this point, might as well give him some no pressure football. See, a little disappointed about the stadium. I was hoping there'd be like an extra stand or it'd be drastically different, but I guess they've just gone for the cheaper option of extending what's already there, which is sensible. Wallace with a long shot. Still, we've got the second biggest stadium in the Premiership, and probably by default the entire league system. I don't know though, I'll have to check because it's possible some of the ones in the Championship have also extended. I know some of them had done. Go on, Narendana, put someone through. It wasn't quick enough. So yeah, the other thing is going back and forth. Yeah, the other thing is that this is the new match engine. So one of the things that's meant to happen, which might be beneficial for us, is crosses are meant to come in a little bit earlier. So in theory, and I've been seeing a few tweets here and there, that in theory it should mean they get past that first man a bit more. Oh, good ball in. And we rely quite a lot on crosses. It's a reasonable one as well. So that should be good. The keepers are also meant to be improved, so their reactions are better to things like free kicks and penalties. And I can't say I ever really noticed them being bad at penalties, just because I guess penalties are quite straightforward. I think actually maybe there was 1 or 2 I did notice where they kind of just pushed it into the roof of the net instead of stopping it or knocking it out. But nothing massive, but the free kicks apparently have been changed. See there, that's a good save. Don't know whether that would have gone in under the old match engine, but I don't think it would have been as competent a save. So I think that's a good change. It'll mean we score less from free kicks, but also everyone else will score less from free kicks. It's not like it was one of those ones where just one team was exploiting it. So far the match engine looks alright. It's only like 30 minutes of match time we've seen, and even then there's not been a huge amount of highlights, but it seems to be working okay. In the rest of the league, obviously because it's not the last game of the season for everyone, Bora Bora don't play until next week, I don't think, or later on in the week, which makes this title race a bit less tense. If Huaheen carry on and win, which I think they are, let's have a look at the latest scores. So yeah, if they carry on with this scoreline or any version of this one where they win, then they've won the title today. If they if they lose for definite, then Bora Bora could sneak it. Likewise, if they draw, Bora Bora have got an opportunity. But it probably won't go down to that match. Ooh. Don't know what he's trying there. Good ball through. Oh, that was really good. Again, I don't know if that's the new match engine or not, but perfect pass for him. Higgins picks it up. Definitely waited through. Jared was waiting there on his shoulder. And it goes. That's his 20th goal of the season, apparently. He's not quite on his 33 goals a season like he did last season, but then he has played a lot less. Like a lot less, I think, in comparison. There was a stretch where Yanin was... he took the kind of first choice pressing forward because Jared was tired, or I didn't want to risk him to injury and stuff like that, so he's not had as many starts as he would have had last season. I think Narendona now is going to be booked for the Shield, suspended for the Shield of Pride. I'm just going to make him play this game, its entirety. Pleased with how things are going. Phil Lamb is injured. Don't have anyone on the bench who can play on the left. Bring on Twig. So Twig is the youth right back, forced him to play left back. He has had a couple of starts, but he's done okay. It's always a bit nerve-wracking when you've had a match engine update, especially seeing as we had such a bad time at the start of the season with the tactics, and it took a little bit of time to kind of tweak them and get them going again. If that happens again, that's fine. We'll just have to adapt. I've seen nothing in this match or anything in the patch notes that would suggest we would need any kind of drastic changes. I think one of the changes was actually that they will play balls forward when they're optimal more often, which is actually much better for us as a kind of long ball team, because we are trying to get the ball forward. He says as they pass it side to side. Giving Higgins a chance. Got a couple of youth midfielders who could do the job. Oh, Cowick. It's a good goal from them. I mean, he should have stopped him there, but that was Higgins playing in the ball-winning midfielder role when he's not much of a ball-winning midfielder. I think I should probably take responsibility for that one. I'll give it 5 or 10 minutes and then probably bring on Waite. And then I might as well bring on Douglas as well. Just get it forward. Just chasing it down. I definitely felt more long bally then, even though nothing came from it. Good tackle by Higgins. Well, not tackle, interception, I guess. Wallace through. Oh, why didn't he score? That would have been amazing. I don't think he actually meant to get it past the defender like that. I think that was part of the block that did that. Right, let's bring on Waits. Let's bring on Douglas. I have no idea who's going to get banned for the next match. I imagine Narendona is. I'm pretty sure Narendona is. Possibly Richards too. Oh, Waits scores the free kick. Okay. Maybe he's just so good that it doesn't matter how much you improve the goalkeepers. On one hand it was good, on the other hand it was actually quite close to the keeper. Guess the notes just say improved, just not how much it's improved. not long left. The latest scores. Pete trying to get back in it. As it stands, we've got some new champions. Bit of a deflection. Wait, he's been disallowed because Mark McIntyre was tripping another player. See, I just got really confused about the camera angles, but they were attacking us, so I don't know why that could be disallowed. Unless he was tripped by another player, but that's not normally how it would appear. We'll take it. It's good for us. So stats-wise, not like we've been battering them or anything like that, but it's been a competent kind of match. We've never lost against Mauti. And they've done well this season, so this is their first season back up. So they got relegated, then got promoted back from the championship, and now they survived. And so have Catholic as well, the other promoted side, which means there'll be two fresh kind of relegations. So it's going to keep the league quite mobile at the bottom anyway. It's going to make sure we're getting some fresh teams in. Well, I say that, it's quite possible some of the teams that get promoted might be former. Jared leathered it in. Don't know what that came back off. It's having a second go. And the match change has been alright. Obviously, one game is not enough to judge the entire thing on, but nothing horrible has happened apart from that weird message about tripping another player for the disallowed goal. I think a lot of this passing back and forth is to do with the fact Twig's not on his kind of dominant side. He's not comfortable turning. Long ball. I do like the way my team have started to do that since the change in the tactic. That kind of short balls amongst the back and then suddenly a long ball over the top when it looks like it's opened up a little bit. So 3-1, not a bad way to finish off the league season. Well done. So there we have it. Huahine have done the double. We've got the Leeward Pride as well. Yeah, 28 games, 44 goals, so we finished lower than we did last season. We've got less points than we did last season, so 3 less points than we did last season, because of that bad start. Actual form, as things progressed, was really good. It's this patch right at the start. So up from August to the end of October, this is where we lost it all, basically. But yeah, not bad. I'll do a proper season review in a bit once I've done the kind of Shield of Pride. But I'm not too disappointed in the end with that season. So we'll come back for the next episode, which will be against Uapoa Catholic in the Shield of Pride. The other teams in the Shield of Pride are... Actually, I'll just tell you in the next episode. Or remind you in the next episode. Huahine Islanders, because they won the Leeward Cup, Moria because they won the Windward, and Catholic because they won the Marquesas Shield. So we'll come back for that, and that's either going to be one game, and it's going to be a very short debut in the Shield of Pride, or we'll get through to the final. I'm confident we could make a bid for the final. So thanks very much for watching and bearing with me through this season, and I'll see you for the next episode.